Hey all you cool cats and kittens, Vic Charhai here, physical therapist, personal trainer, and nutritional therapist over at the Cincinnati Sports Club. What we're going to do today is we're going to go through an upper body series using a resistant band. So all you need is a resistant band. And the other thing you might want to do is you might want to find a spot that you can anchor this in. Okay, so what you can do is you can take your band, tie a knot in the middle of it, shut it on one side of your door, and you can use that for part of this workout. And one thing I want to just mention is please be sure to get a warm-up before you do this stuff. Getting a dynamic warm-up, things like arm circles, okay, moving them back and forth, okay, even some gentle wall push-ups, anything to get your joints loosened up beforehand is going to be key. So we're going to dive right into it. The structure of the program is 2 exercises back to back. It's called the superset. So we are going to do 1 exercise, go to the second exercise, and then repeat that 3 times through. Everything you do here, you can either do 10 to 15 reps, 2 sets, 3 sets, 4 sets, whatever you feel most comfortable with. So why don't we just go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do a row exercise. Okay, so you have that band anchored in. You're going to grab the handles of it, you're going to stand right back, you're squeezing your shoulder blades, and you're alternating arms. Now what I want you to do is keep your one arm pinched back. That engages your shoulder blades the whole time, okay? So you're going back and forth, back and forth. Right here we're at about 5 reps here. I'm going to go all the way to 10, okay? Squeezing my shoulder blades. As you pull against the resistant band, it obviously makes more tension. So what you're going to want to do is step back accordingly if you need to make it more difficult. Perfect. Knock out that set. I'm going to go over to something called rear delt flies, okay? So this works the upper back as well, okay? Your rear delts are the back of your shoulders, and we're going to hit some of your rhomboids, the middle shoulder blades here. So you're going to step on your band, you're going to cross it, you're going to lean your chest out, and you're going to go into rear delt flies, okay? So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. You knock that out, that's 1 round. So we're going back over. I'm going to hit your back again, okay? So same thing. I want you to pull back, squeeze those shoulder blades, holding one arm, and you're rowing, and you're alternate and alternate every single time. As you start to get more tired, you are going to be pulling with your bicep more. So what do? You pinch your shoulder blades back, okay? And you keep that squeeze. A little bit of a rule is that if your chest is out, it's impossible to round your shoulders forward. So notice how I'm keeping my chest out the entire time. And good. Finishing up round 2, going back to the rear delt flies, okay? A little hint here. If you are too upright, you're gonna make this into a shoulder exercise, okay? More like a lateral raise. So get your foot staggered in front of you and get into like a tabletop position so you can still hit those rear delts, okay? Every time I'm reaching the peak of this fly, I'm squeezing my shoulder blades as tight as I can. Once I hit the top and I'm starting to get tired, I have to concentrate more and more on squeezing every time. And perfect. Good. So we're going to go for our 3rd round, okay? Back here, pulling back and squeezing. Now, let's say you're getting tired, or let's say that this isn't difficult enough for you. All you need to do is you need to alternate how many reps you're doing, or alternate the resistant band. So maybe you want to put a little bit heavier resistance with the rows and then take a lighter resistance on the rear delt flies. And perfect. Finishing up back with the rear delts. Okay, so this is our last round of our upper back posterior shoulder aspect. You're going to be here and coming out. Now, just a little perfectionist hint for you. If you turn your thumbs up right at the top, you engage your shoulder blades a little bit more, rather than keeping your palms flat. And perfect. Good. Okay, round 2. We're going to still focus on our back, all right? I'm a big believer in back exercises. So we're going to do something called angel wings, which is with the anchored band, and then you're going to do something called X factors, which is with the regular resistant band. So let's go over X factors first. Then we're gonna go to angel wings. So, you're gonna turn, you're gonna put your hands above your head, you squeeze your shoulder blades down and come up every time. So, I am pinching my shoulder blades to the ground as I pull my arms to the side. The easiest way that you can think about it is as you get the band closer to your chest, your shoulder blades are pinching tighter together. And good. So you hit that set, and you swing back over to the anchored band. What you're gonna do is I put my hands in the handles. Now if you don't have handles on the resistant band, that's not a big deal. You're gonna sit here like this in almost a bent forward position. Chest is out, butt is out, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stand up and squeeze my shoulder blades back. Just like that. I'm really focusing on tightening my glutes and tightening my shoulder blades together as I'm coming up. We got 2 more, and then we're gonna go back to the X factors. So at this point, your shoulder blades, your back, should be getting a little bit tired. That's why I utter the importance of making sure you're keeping good form, okay? So, coming back again to reiterate, I'm pulling down and up, down and up. And when you squeeze your shoulder blades, you can kind of think about pinching a pencil right between them. Okay? Now this is really easy to start making into a tricep exercise. So notice how my elbows are slightly bent the entire time. And good. And let's go for our second round of angel wings, okay? So on this series, I'm just taking you through 2 rounds, but at home, like I said, do 3, do 4 rounds, whatever you feel like doing. So you're gonna be here, butt is out, chest is out, right? Stand up, tighten, and pull through. Tighten and pull through. One of the things that I like about this exercise, it works your low back and your lats, which are a very difficult muscle to hit just from being at home. Good. All right, so we're set there. So, first 2 rounds, we hit our back. What I want you to think about now is we hit upper back, lower back. Now we're gonna hit some chest and then move to the shoulders after that and finish up with some arms, okay? So, for our chest exercise, we are going to do a push-up and a chest fly complex, okay? So, for push-ups, you can make it as difficult as you want, okay? And I'm gonna use a resistant band to do so. But if that's too hard, drop the band. If that's still too hard, go down to your knees and modify it. So I'll kind of show you those other versions as we go through this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the band and put it on my body, okay? Just like that. Going down into push-up position, okay? And you drive up. At the peak, you're pushing through that resistant band, okay? Making it more difficult the further you press away. Then, after your last rep, you drop the band and you go to chest flies. So again, with that anchor band, you're gonna just wanna keep it right where it was for the other 2 sets and grab each handle. I'm gonna come here and you're gonna make it a fly, okay? So you're gonna actually keep your arms slightly bent, come to the center, squeeze, and back. Now, when I do a chest fly, I want to keep my arms away from my body. So how I kind of cue that with a lot of the people I work with is act like you're hugging a tree, okay? So you got to keep your arms way out and around it, okay? Really squeezing your chest muscles together at the front. Perfect, okay? So let's go round 2. Let's say in this situation, you still want to use the resistant band, but you want to modify it a little bit. So I'm going to turn a little bit to an angle here, okay? And I'm going to modify it so I can be on my knees, but I still get the benefits of having the resistant band. So I'm here and here, I'm down, but now I'm modifying it to my knees, okay? So I'm still getting that resistance that increases at the peak of my press, but it's just not as hard. So, like I said, this is the easier way. Pick your knees up. It's a little bit harder. Okay, we're going to finish with our second round, going back to the chest fly. Now, when you do a chest fly, it's going to be easier than doing a push-up. But one way to make it a little bit harder is actually pulsing in the middle. So you can always go round 2 or round 3, come here and pulse. Okay? And all I'm doing in the pulse in the center is I'm just squeezing my chest and then coming back with control, okay? Now, if you feel like this is bothering your shoulder at all, you just might have to change the angle of your elbows, okay? So what I mean by that is you can drop it and scoop more, or take your elbows higher, okay? Whatever one is most comfortable on your shoulder joint. Perfect. So, done with our chest series. You can do 2, you can do 3 rounds, whatever you feel like doing there, okay? So our last complex movement we're gonna be doing is with our shoulder. So, what I'm gonna have you do is grab that band, and you're gonna be down on one knee with the band. We're gonna do shoulder presses. You're gonna be here, tighten your core, squeeze it. You can let that band go down if you need a cue to hold your abs and brace them tightly, and you're pressing, okay? So, I have my palm facing forward. Now, you always can do your palm in and elbow tighter like this, and that's gonna work a little bit more tricep. But let's stay here, focus on our shoulder a little bit more. Perfect. You're done with that. You stand up, you can grab the band, keep it under your foot, that same shoulder lateral raise. Now, when you do a lateral raise, I do not want you to do thumb up to the side. Keep your palm down if you're only going to 90 degrees, which is, I think, the best bet for you right now, okay? Let's say you're like, Vic, this is way too much resistance for me to go lateral. That's fine. Give yourself some slack and come out a little bit more, okay? Just change that band. Perfect. So, I just did my left arm. I'm gonna switch over to my right arm. So I come here, step on it, half kneeling position. I like to have my core brace, good cue, and I press. You can do this standing if you want to make it more difficult, but make sure that your band is elastic enough, because a lot of them aren't that elastic and you wouldn't be able to get all the way over your head. 14 and 15. Okay, coming back up, and let's go into our lateral raise, okay? So here and up. If you feel like with this it's a little bit too difficult still, don't bother going and grabbing a dumbbell or maybe even a water bottle, okay? And you can use that as you go out to the side to increase your resistance more than just the weight of your arm. And perfect. Good. So that's our shoulder series, okay? I'm gonna say 3 rounds of each of those, 2 rounds of each of those, but kind of going back and forth between your left arm, right arm, left arm, right arm. So right now, you should be feeling it a little bit, okay? We're gonna switch from the bigger muscle groups. We did our shoulders, we did our upper back, we did our lower back, we did our chest. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna isolate your arms a little bit, okay? So we're gonna do a bicep tricep series. After we do that, we're gonna go into a bicep burnout or a bicep finisher, and then we'll send you on your way, okay? So, what we're gonna do, you're gonna grab the band, put it under your foot, you're gonna hold one arm halfway up, okay? So it's kind of isometrically holding right as you stand. What you're gonna do is you're gonna rep out your other arm, okay? As you pull up with a resistant band like this, I'm feeling my right arm almost get pulled down, okay? That's why you have to hold that isometrically, okay? Once you get to about 15 reps, switch and go, okay? If you feel like with this one, it's a little bit too hard just to do the hold, then let this arm go down, okay? And you can rep 15 each way. and good. So I just knocked that out. I'm gonna switch right over to my triceps, okay? So we're gonna do tricep kickbacks, all right? How this is gonna work is you bring your arms back and you get into a tabletop position. Kind of like that position when we did the rear delt flies, that very first exercise. You're gonna lean forward and keep your chest out. So I'm gonna be here and here, right? And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kick back and forward, okay? Now, when I do this, I'm trying not to rotate my wrist too much. That's gonna be compensation of actually where you wanna feel this target. So I'm staying forward, chest is staying out, and I'm kicking back with control. And perfect, okay? So we're gonna go back. I'm gonna do another round with you, okay? Now on this next round, I'm gonna show you how I'm making this a little bit harder. Step here, and I just widen my base. So now there is more slack between my feet and less slack between my hands and my feet, meaning the resistance of the band is gonna be increased. So I'm holding it up and I'm curling. Now, one of the things that I'd like to mention as I'm doing this last round is you can increase the resistance band intensity simply by doing things like spreading your feet or pulling further away. But you got to remember the concept of it is as you tension the band more, the weight increases. So what might be easy at the bottom of my curl has now become more difficult at the peak of it. We got 5 more reps and then we're gonna go right back into those kickbacks. Perfect. Whew. Okay, feeling a burn. We got the last one here. So what I want you to do, grab them again. Reverse your grip, so you're here and here. Don't do these tricep kickbacks here. I would rather have you do them here. It's a little bit more difficult. So out, pull in. At the peak of it, what I want you to think about is not letting your elbows drop. So I'm keeping my elbows staying high the whole time. I'm not letting them drop down to the floor. And perfect. Good. Okay, we got one more. Here's our burnout. It's the finisher. I'm going to do it with you, the whole thing, okay? What it is it's 30 seconds on, 15 seconds off, okay? So it's a series of 45 seconds. 30 seconds as fast as you can, 15-second break, repeat 3 times through. So this is a really good one to finish off because it's a hypertrophy set, meaning we're burning out those muscles, getting them to pure exhaustion, okay? So step on that band, okay? Like I said before, whatever width you want your feet is gonna make it more difficult. You're sitting up and go 30 seconds, pumping back and forth, okay? When you're doing this, I want you to think about a good controlled pace, but a fast pace. Because trust me, third time around in this, you're gonna be feeling a burn, you're gonna go a lot slower, okay? Sometimes what I like to do is I start with one foot, gauge the intensity, gauge the resistance, and then you can kind of back off from that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give yourself a relax, switch, switch, switch. One of the things I would also say is if you're doing this, you can do both arms at the same time, but by alternating it, you feel like you get a little bit better tempo and you're not as likely to use your body for momentum, okay? So here we go, next round. One of the things that you can do is you can keep a clock in front of you and time it up. I'm doing 30-second, 15-second intervals. Sometimes if you do 45-second, 15-second intervals, that's great. If you can't even go that long though, no big deal. Take a longer break, okay? The whole point is that you're reaching that fatigue about every 30 seconds. So I'm about there. Let's give me 5 more seconds. And good. Get a little bit of burn, and we got one more round here, okay? So I'm gonna do my last round with both feet on the resistance band. It's gonna make it a little bit more difficult. You're gonna feel a little bit more, okay? So I step on, step on. Worst part about this is that the 15-second break goes a lot faster than those 30 seconds on. Ready? Go. One of the tips as you start to get tired is squeezing your hands tighter, okay? If you're doing a curl, you're doing a tricep extension, If you grip it tighter, you'll notice that your performance of the exercise itself is going to be a little bit better. So right about now, halfway through, you're really going to start to feel it. I just want you to keep on grinding through, okay? 1 rep at a time. It does not matter how slow you go, as long as you're doing it at a full range of motion and keeping your pace. Don't give up, okay? Keep on pushing it through. We got about 5 seconds left. And, whew, good. All right, so there you have it. That's your upper body series, just with literally 1 resistant band is all you need, okay? Try it out. Like I said, you can do 2 sets, 3 sets, 4 sets of each exercise. You can go through anywhere from 10 to 15 repetitions. The big thing I want you to do is do it with good form and do it with control, okay? I do not care about the resistance. I do not care about the repetitions. Form is what matters the most, okay? And then what you can do is you can build on that and keep on creating better endurance for your upper body exercises just using something as simple as a resistant band. Thank you.